Greetings, fellow citizens of Disneyland. Let's take a walk through ToonTown and explore how this may be the most disastrous, ugly version of ToonTown that ever existed. But don't fool yourself. Today's video isn't one of negativity. Today's video is one of positivity, as ToonTown is in a very important transformation that will preserve this very important part of Disneyland for years and years to come. Let's take a cruise to ToonTown and check out everything new happening in spring of 2021. Great hidden logo right there on the side of the fence. So I'm gonna take this outer path. Why not? You can do these things now. I have to say Disneyland is pretty busy today. So far, this is the busiest that I've seen it in quite some time. And I wanted to come back here and explore ToonTown because this part of the park, I think an important part of the park, is in a really interesting transformation. First things first though, when you come up, this nice little barricade transitions the land down to create this stage where Roger Rabbit exists. It's some really nice landscaping that I think a lot of folks probably overlook. So when we get up at the top of ToonTown, you can easily see that the fountain is back on. We have our ToonTown Cartoon Mountains here, but over here, Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway has other plans. But it is nice to see the water back in the fountains. It just adds a sound, a kinetic energy. And it really does frame well with this whole facade, which is the more drastic version of how we see the rest of Disneyland cut up every 12, 15 feet into a different building. This is the most drastic example of it, so therefore it feels cartoony. And one of the things I've talked about a lot of my live streams is, if you notice, everything in ToonTown swells, right? It has a swell to it that makes it feel animated and cartoon. The easiest way to look at that is this right here on the side of the light fixture. You'll see that happen over and over and over again. It's all the buildings. But you see we have this awesome berm right here to keep Small World out of our view. We have this berm over here to keep the Fantasyland Theater out of our way. And we have this bridge to keep the Disneyland Railroad going. But then we have this hidden dark ride that, I'll be honest, friends, my first couple of trips to Disneyland, I had no idea that it was there. The fact that it's over to the right, when you come into the land, most folks continue to go into that path, not thinking about looking over here for a ride that's kind of out of your sight line. One of the loudest lands in all of Disneyland, but you do see we have this construction wall here, which kind of gets us wondering, is the old gag factory going to be the entrance into the new attraction, or will the entrance to the new attraction be over where ToonTown's City Hall area was? Because I'd often wondered, would they use this area right here with their City Hall type building? Where in the world will the grand entrance to Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway actually be? A lot of people had assumed, hi, how are you? Nice to see you. How's it going? That's a fun little surprise. A lot of people had assumed that it would be the gag factory because it exists back there in the corner. But I had often wondered, would it not be the City Hall? Very, very centrally located. Plenty of room out here to keep a massive queue because Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway is going to be a very, very popular ride. It's going to solidify the future of ToonTown for time to come. But see, once again, pausing, there's that swell, right? That is the swell that makes this land. And you just find it over and over again to add in that animated vibe. Even on this brick pillar here, you can see how it tapers there in the middle. But as we move over, it will be interesting to see exactly where that entry is. But then the second fun thing is going to be, how do they cover this massive, massive show building? The mountains will have to be taller than ever. Maybe they put in a cityscape like they have over here along this back contour. But one way or the other, that building, that's going to have to be covered. And it's going to be an interesting workaround to see how they do it. And I believe whatever they put on that ridge will make ToonTown look its best version yet. And even though I don't have kids, and there's not a lot back here for me personally, that doesn't mean I don't fully understand the importance of little ones to have a place inside of Disneyland where finally they can get let out of the stroller, they can walk on their own, they can maybe sprint, because unless they're really good, they're not getting on the other side of that berm. ToonTown being on the other side of the railroad, being a fully captive area, great place to let the little ones go. Here we have this genius sign, which makes me wonder, how are they going to cover this up? Oh, mountains, buildings, a mixture of both. One way or the other though, Mickey's Runaway Railway, I assure you, will be one of the most popular attractions inside of Disneyland for years to come, bringing such a life back to ToonTown, bringing such a new aesthetic as the back edge gets all mapped out. Like, it's going to be interesting. And even though it's not for me, this is such a wonderful land as far as its theming goes. All of the different storytelling in the shape of bringing a cartoon world to life. They did it. Looking at Goofy's house and all the fun details and how it bends and twirls, fascinating. Donald's boat has the water running. Have seen Donald out on his balcony waving at people in my last couple of visits, not today. Then you got that cartoon rock work with some real trees submerged in the middle of it. An attraction I don't care if they throw in the trash. I think they could give the kids something better. But the real stars of this area is the ability for folks to do exactly what they're doing here. Social distant photo with the big man himself, Mickey Mouse. Walk up, have your moment. They also do Minnie over here in her house. And you can see the little tea garden that she has on that back walkway there. While I'm complaining, I do think Disney needs to plant some trees back here on this ridge, because seeing Star Wars Galaxy's Edge spires over the top of these spires, I mean, it kind of matches because it's rocks behind rocks, but where you see that dead tree, on the horizon there, wouldn't be too hard. Plant a couple of trees, skew them up, and just block out those spires. But I'm curious, on that back outer edge, there's not a lot of room there. The reason why the mountains were taken down is because the show building is so close to the back edge of ToonTown, giving them way more room to do all the construction they need to do. So something this animated, something with this much depth in it, I doubt we'll see something like that. Now, maybe in one or two spots, but we'll probably more likely see that more flat style of a vignette cut out, creating that layering. But it'll be interesting because it's going to have to be very, very tall. Like, so tall to tower over everything and to keep the perfect sight lines that Disneyland's famous for. So nice to see the water back in the fountain on the first opening days. It was drained. That was me stepping on one of these manhole grates. Me again. But it's going to be so fascinating to see how all of this land matures, how it all comes together. And I'm going to say, ToonTown, once this is done, an e-ticket attraction with state-of-the-art technology that will take years to expire, a brand new facade, a new life, a new reason for people to come back up here. ToonTown's best days lay ahead of it, even though right now this might be the worst version of it because it just looks horrible. It just doesn't look good with the big construction walls, all of the cartoon theming there, just kind of colliding into each other without being able to see the base of those buildings. We just see the skyline, which without seeing the whole picture, just looks like a bit of a collage mess. However, I do believe when that comes back together, we will see something fascinating, mature, and we will see a fantastic version of ToonTown. I do love that ToonTown offers these little areas like the Toon Park, where you can come back here and just chill out. And then also, once again, offering little ones something fun to do. The playground, too high touch for now, but that playground inside of Goofy's, that's a great spot for the little ones to burn off their energy in a place well designed for the Disney aesthetic. And once you see the swell of ToonTown, it'll be hard for you to ever kind of ignore that it's not everywhere. And if you could never quite put your finger on what makes it feel like you've just walked into an animated dream, that would be it. And let's hope, friends, when they're doing the construction, that some of these buildings get a much needed coat of paint. Because I believe that patina isn't one that Disney's looking for. And it would also be nice to see the Jolly Trolley come back, but don't think that's going to happen. Friends, until the next time I see you, maybe, cruising through ToonTown, riding on Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway, I'll see you back here on the channel with more Disneyland news. Thank you so much for taking this walk through ToonTown with me. What do you say we come back this summer and see what's changed and see the evolution of ToonTown, going from its worst state soon to its best state. If you enjoyed today's video, please make sure to hit the thumbs up, leave a comment. That helps the channel so much. And consider subscribing, and when you do, ring the bell. Every time I'm at Disneyland, I do a live stream bringing you inside of the magic. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for showing up. I appreciate it.